Alright, so isang mapagpalang gabi po, no, sa inyong lahat, teachers. I hope na sa mabuting kalagayan po tayo ngayon. And of course, I hope na dito na rin po yung ating mga TLE at saka mga TVET majors. Okay, magparamdam po sa ating comment section. And of course, kindly share po. Again, paki-share po ng ating live at saka paki-mention po, no, or paki-tag po ng ating mga kakilala sa ating comment section. Okay? And of course, tonight, pag-uusapan po natin yung mga konsepto naman po hinggil po sa ating agri-fishery arts. Okay? I hope na dito na po yung ating mga TLE major in APA. Okay? Magparamdam po. Kapag TVTED majors, pakilapag blue heart sa ating comment section. Kapag TLE majors, pakilapag po red hearts. Okay? And of course, open pa rin po yung ating promo dito, no? For only 200 pesos, pwede pa rin po ninyong mahabol yung ating tatlong refresher sessions, 10 intensive discussions. Okay, pang-apat na session na po ito. You will be having your 3-day final coaching session as well, diagnostic exams, summative test, and of course, yung pre-board exam, no? Papalapit na po yan. And of course, meron din po tayong mga drills sa ating community chat. Okay, so ano pa yung hinihintay po natin, no? Pa-member na ko po, no? For only 200 pesos, pwedeng-pwede po ninyong ma-avail lahat ng yan. Okay? Okay lang po ba yung audio ko? Okay lang po ba? Paki-confirm po sa ating comment section. And of course, yung ating schedule po, no, tapos na po tayo dito. Nasa panghuling session na po tayo. Okay? Supposedly, dapat kahapon po. But then, I had my dance practice, no? So, that's why na-postpone po ngayon. Okay? And of course, open na po yung ating final coaching, no? So, for those po na gusto pong makipagbardagulan po, no, sa atin for our 3-day final coaching, at saka unlimited drills po, no? Starting from March 1 hanggang March 14, magkakaroon po tayo ng unlimited drills, no? For only 200 pesos, pwedeng-pwede din po ninyong avail po yan, okay? And of course, kapag may mga kakilala po tayo, no, paki-refer naman po ng ating review package sa kanila. And of course, bago po ang lahat, no, I invite everyone to pray. Let's have our daily prayer here. Lord God, as I begin my review, calm my mind and strengthen my focus. Grant me wisdom to understand, patience to learn, and clarity to remember all that I have studied. Guide my thoughts, remove all fear, and fill my heart with confidence and peace. May my efforts bring honor to you and lead me closer to my goals. Amen. Okay, again, paki-share po ng ating live. Again, paki-share po, paki-tag po ng ating mga kakilala sa ating comment section. Okay? And of course, paano po ba natin ma-ace ang ating major chef, no? Paulit-ulit po, no? Gaya ng sinasabi ko palagi, master the fundamentals. Dapat meron po tayong foundations bago po tayo na mag-proceed, no, sa mga medyo komplikado na po mga konsepto. And of course, the second one here is to improve your test-taking skills. Gaya ng sinasabi ko palagi, no? You have to answer at least 50 to 100 items per day para mahasa po natin yung ating utak, no, at hindi na po ma-shock sa actual board examination. And of course, the most important one here, above all, you have to pray. We have to ask for His guidance and provision throughout our review season. Okay? Handa na po ba? Kapag handa na po tayo, no, pakilapag po sa ating comment section, ready na. Again, kapag handa na po tayo, pakilapag po, ready na sa ating comment section. Okay, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Welcome po sa ating panibagong session tonight. Kaka-start lang po, yes po, no? Kaka-start lang. Okay, ready na daw, no? Ready na! Watching po habang naka-duty, sir. Wala pong problema yan, no? And of course, yung kagandahan po dito, kapag nagpa-member po kayo for only 200 pesos, pwedeng-pwede po ninyong mabalikan ito, no? Kasi nga po, this will be uploaded sa ating private group, okay? It seems like everyone is ready. Of course, wag na po nating patagalin yung ating discussion tonight. Let's begin with item number 1. Pakilapag po ng ating item number with your correct choice. Okay, your question here. It is intended to be used as a last resort when all other non-chemical methods have proved insufficient. Is that A, mechanical control, letter B, chemical spraying, letter C, cultural practices, or letter D, biological practices? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, what is your choice? Item number one here again. It is intended to be used as a last resort, no, when all other non-chemical methods have proved insufficient. Is that A, mechanical, letter B, chemical, letter C, cultural, or letter D, biological? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here the last resort, okay? Ano po yung gagawin mo kapag lahat ng methods or pest control na dapat mong gawin hindi naging epektibo. So what will be your last resort here? Is that a mechanical, letter B chemical, letter C cultural, or letter D biological? I see a lot of letter B. Tumpak pa ba yung letter B natin? Of course, that is correct, no? Yan po yung ating chemical spraying na tinatawag. Tandaan po natin, teachers, no? In the context of integrated pest management o yung ating IPM na tinatawag, yung chemical control methods natin dito katulad po ng pagsispray natin, no, are intended to be used as a last resort. They are only employed when all other non-chemical methods katulad po ng ating cultural, mechanical, and biological controls have failed to keep pest populations below an economic threshold level. Okay? Kapag hindi po naging epektibo yung ating mechanical, yung ating cultural, at saka yung ating biological practices, then we have to use chemical spraying, no? Or we have to use chemical, okay? In order for us to stop the pest, no? And of course, pag sinabi po nating mechanical, yung dapat lamang po nating tandaan dito, no? It is often a first or second line defense involving gumagamit po tayo ng mga physical actions, no? Katulad po ng handpicking of pests, no? Gumagamit po tayo ng mga traps or installing nets. Okay? That is what we call mechanical control. What about our cultural here? Pag sinabi po natin cultural practices, of course, ito po ay yung mga crop rotations natin, no? Or sanitation of our farms. Kapag biological practices naman, yung tandaan lamang po natin dito, gumagamit po tayo ng mga natural enemies, no? Katulad po ng ating mga predators or parasites, no? And of course, kapag hindi po naging epektibo yung tatlong practices nito, then our last resort here would be the chemical, okay? We have to use chemical spraying, okay? Sa nakuha po, that's item number one, letter B po yung tumpak na choice. We go to item number two. Which of fishing gear is classified as an active fishing gear? Is it A, fish trap, letter B, gill net, letter C, hook and line, or letter D, trawl net? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about fishing gear, no, na classified as an active, okay? Ano po ba yung ibig sabihin kapag sinabi po nating active fishing gear? So what will be your choice here? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Sige, item number two, wag pong bahiyang maglapag sa ating comment section. Okay, item number two, I see letter C is. I see letter D as well. I see letter A. Tumpak mo yung mga choice natin. Okay, nahahati ang taong bayan. Of course, kapag ganito po yung matanungan, yung tumpak na choice natin dito, of course, would be letter D, no? That is what we call the trawl net. Okay, tandaan po natin, teachers, ano po bang ibig sabihin pag sinabi po nating active fishing gears? No, it means ito po yung klase ng mga fishing gears, no, that are moved through water, no, para makapag-capture po tayo ng mga isda. And of course, the best example of active fishing gear here based po sa ating options would be our trawl net, no? And of course, pag sinabi po natin trawl net, ito po yung ginagamit natin, di ba? And of course, pag sinabi natin trawl net again, ito po ay large cone-shaped fishing net towed by one or two boats, no? To catch fish or crustaceans at the surface in midwater or along the seafloor. Okay, that is what we call the trawl net, no? Um, may movement po, okay? What about our fish trap here? Of course, ito po ay passive, no, or stationary gear. Kaya X po yung ating letter A. Kapag gill net po, of course, ito po ay nakadepende po sa movement mismo ng ating mga isda. Kaya X po yung ating letter B. Kapag letter C naman, hook and line, tandaan po natin, ito po ay passive fishing method. Kaya X din po yung ating letter C. But then we are talking about here the best example of active fishing gear. That is what we call the trawl net. Kaya letter D po yung tumpak na choice for item number 2. We go to item number 3. Which practice best reduces post-harvest losses in agricultural produce? Is that A, delayed harvesting? Letter B, proper storage and handling? Letter C, excessive washing? Or letter D, overpacking? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, the best practice, no? That reduces post-harvest losses, okay, in agricultural produce. What is that? Is that a delayed harvesting? Letter B, proper storage and handling. Letter C, excessive washing. Or letter D, overpacking. What is your choice? Pakilapag po. Okay, so ano pong klaseng practice na gagawin po natin, no, in order for us to reduce post-harvest losses? Okay, I see letter B here. Tumpak po ba yung letter B natin? What about the others? What is your choice? Sumabol po sa ating comment section. Okay, I see a lot of letter B's. Tumpak po ba yung letter B natin? Of course, that is correct, no? That is the proper storage and handling. Tandaan po natin, no? That proper storage and handling maintain product quality, prevent spoilage, and of course, kaya-kaya po nating extend yung shelf life ng ating mga produkto, no? And of course, yung letter A natin dito, kapag sinabi po nating delayed harvesting, negative po siya, di ba? It increases spoilage risk. Kaya X po yung ating letter A. Yung letter C natin dito, excessive washing. Of course, this encourages microbial growth. Kaya X po yung ating letter C. Yung letter D natin, overpacking. Of course, that causes physical damage. Kaya X din po yung ating letter D. But then we are talking about here the best practice, no, that reduces post-harvest losses. That is what we call the letter B, no, proper storage and handling. Kaya letter B po yung tumpak na choice for item number 3. We go to item number 4. Which breeding system aims to improve specific desirable traits in animals? Is it A, random breeding? Letter B, natural mating? Letter C, selective breeding? Or letter D, none of the above? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about the breeding system, no, that aims to improve specific desirable traits in our animals, okay? In our animals. What is that? Is that a random breeding? Letter B, natural mating. Letter C, selective breeding. Or letter D, none of the above. Of course, kapag ganito po yung matanungan, X na yung ating letter D, no? So you only have 3 options left. What will be your choice? Okay, pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, item number 4, I see letter C here. Tumpak ba yung letter C natin? What about the others? What is your choice? Humabol po sa ating comment section. Okay, see a lot of letter C's. Tumpak mo ba yung letter C natin? Of course, kapag ito po yung matanungan, yung tumpak na choice natin dito would be letter C. No? That is what we call the selective breeding. Okay, tandaan po natin, pag sinabi po natin selective breeding, ito din po yung tinatawag natin na artificial selection. No? And of course, kung ito po yung proseso kung saan deliberately we are choosing individual animals with specific desirable traits to mate. Okay? Pinipili po natin yung pinakamagandang breeders, no, in order for us to produce good breeds. Okay? That is what we call the selective breeding. What about our random breeding here? Tandaan lamang po natin, no, this system involves mating animals without any regard for their specific traits or genetic. Kaya X po yung ating letter A. Kapag natural mating, yung dapat lamang po natin tandaan dito, it refers to the biological act of animals mating without human-directed genetic selection. Kaya X po yung ating letter B. But then we are talking about here the breeding system, no, that aims to improve specific desirable traits in animals. That is what we call the selective breeding. Okay, kaya letter C po yung tumpak na choice for item number 4. We go to item number 5 here. Which farm tool is best used for leveling soil before planting? Is that a hoe, letter B, rake, letter C, plow, or letter D, sprayer? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, item number 5 here again. Which farm tool is best used for leveling soil before planting? Again, ginagamit po natin no, to flatten or level the soil. So what will be, ano pong klaseng tool yung gagamitin po natin? Is that a hoe, letter B, rake, letter C, plow, or letter D, sprayer? What is your choice? Item number 5. I see letter B here. Tumpak mo ba yung letter B natin? What about the others? Pakilapag po ng inyong mga choice sa ating comment section, okay? I see letter C's as well. I see a lot of letter B's. Tumpak mo ba yung letter B natin? What about the others? Humabol po sa ating comment section, okay? Letter B's, letter A's, letter C's. Ano po ba yung tumpak na choice natin dito? Of course, kapag ganito po yung matanungan, yung tumpak na choice natin would be letter B, no? That is what we call the rake, okay? Tandaan po natin, teachers, again, pag sinabi po nating rake, ito po yung klase ng tool, no, or hand tool na ginagamit po natin to level the soil, remove debris, and of course, to prepare our seed beds. Okay, that is what we call the rake. And of course, most of us here, familiar naman po sa itsura ng ating rake mismo. Okay, ito po yung ating rake. What about our hoe here? Tandaan lamang po natin, kapag sinabi po nating hoe, ito po yung ginagamit natin, no, for weeding, cultivation, and pulverizing topsoil. Kaya X po yung ating letter A. Kapag plow naman, of course, ito naman po yung ginagamit natin no, for primary tillage. Kaya X po yung ating letter C. Kapag sprayer naman po, of course, ito naman po yung ginagamit natin no, used for chemical application. Kaya X din po yung ating letter D. But then we are talking about here a type of tool that is used for leveling soil. That is what we call the rake. No? Kaya letter B po yung tumpak na choice for item number 5. We go to item number 6. What is the main objective of artificial insemination in animal production? Is it a reduced labor cost? Letter B, control animal behavior. Letter C, improve genetic quality. Or letter D, increase animal lifespan. What is your choice? Pakalabag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here artificial insemination, okay? Ano po ba yung main function niya, no? Or main goal po ng paggagawa natin ng artificial insemination? Ano po yan? Is that a reduced labor cost? Letter B, control animal behavior. Letter C, improve genetic quality. Or letter D, increase animal lifespan. What is your choice? Paklapag po. Okay, item number 6 ay si letter C, improve genetic quality. Tumpak ba yung letter C natin? Okay? I see a lot of letter C's here. What about the others? Paklipag po ng inyong mga choice sa ating comment section. Kapag artificial insemination, ano po yan? Letter C po ba? Tumpak po ba yung letter C natin? Of course, kapag ganito po yung matanungan, yung tumpak na choice natin, of course, would be letter C, no? That is to improve genetic quality. Ano po ba yung itsura ng ating artificial insemination, okay? Please be open-minded po, teachers, okay? And of course, pag sinabi po nating artificial insemination, tandaan po natin na yung primary objective po niya, no, in our animal production is para ma-achieve po natin yung rapid genetic improvement across a herd or population. Kaya tumpak po yung ating letter C, no? And of course, yung farmers natin dito can use semen from high quality proven males that they could not afford to buy or maintain physically. Okay? That is what we call the artificial insemination, no? Kumukuha po tayo ng similya ng mga boars, and of course, we are injecting that one to the reproductive tract po ng ating mga swine mismo or female swine. Okay? So, nakuha po, item number 6, that is letter C, no? To improve genetic quality. Kaya letter C po yung top choice for item number 6. We go to item number 7. Which fishing practice is considered illegal due to its destructive impact on aquatic ecosystems? Is it A, hook and line fishing? Letter B, fish trapping? Letter C, dynamite fishing? Or letter D, hand gathering? What is your choice? Paklapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here a fishing practice that is illegal. Okay? Kapag nakita po yung term na illegal, okay, due to its destructive impact on aquatic ecosystems. Ano po yan? Is it a hook and line fishing? Letter B, fish trapping. Letter C, dynamite fishing. Or letter D, hand gathering. What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, base po sa ating options, ano po yung makukonsider natin dito as illegal? Okay, I see letter C yes. Tumpak ko ba yung letter C natin? What about the others? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, letter C daw. Tumpak ko ba yung letter C natin? Of course, kapag ganito po yung matanungan, yung tumpak na choice natin of course would be letter Letter C, okay? That is what we call the dynamite fishing, okay? Tandaan po natin, teachers, pag sinabi po nating dynamite fishing, okay, gumagamit po tayo ng mga explosives, no, that destroy coral reefs, and of course, it kill non-target species, okay? Yan po yung ating dynamite fishing na tinatawag. What about our hook and line fishing? Okay, tandaan po natin ito po ay selective, no, and sustainable. Kaya X po yung ating letter A. Kapag fish trapping naman, of course, we are just using fish traps, no, that is passive and regulated. Kaya X din po yung ating letter B. Kapag hand gathering, of course, ito po ay it has low environmental impact. Kaya X din po yung ating letter D. But then we are talking about here a fishing practice that is considered as illegal and destructive. That is what we call dynamite fishing. Kaya letter C po yung tumpak na choice for item number 7. We go to item number 8. Which nutrient deficiency causes yellowing of older leaves first? Is it A, iron, letter B, calcium, letter C, nitrogen, or letter D, zinc? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we're talking about nutrient deficiency that causes yellowing of older leaves. Ano po yan? Iron po ba? Letter B, calcium, letter C, nitrogen, or letter D, zinc? What is your choice? Pakilapag po. Okay, try po natin magsagot no within 15 seconds. Okay, item number 8 ay si letter C here. Tumpak ba yung letter C natin? What about the others? Pakilapag po ng inyong mga choice sa ating comment section. I see letter C is I see letter B as well. Of course, kapag ganito po yung matanungan, yung tumpak na choice natin dito would be letter C. No, that is what we call the nitrogen. Okay, tandaan po natin, teachers, pag sinabi po natin nitrogen, ito po ay mobile nutrient, no, within our plants. Kumbaga, kapag yung plant natin, no, are deficient, okay, or kulang po sila sa nitrogen, it scavenges nitrogen from older leaves and relocates it to support new active growth. Okay, yan po yung nitrogen natin mismo. What about our iron? Tandaan po natin, no? X po yung ating iron, yung ating calcium, at saka yung ating zinc. Okay, tandaan po natin yan. And of course, pag sinabi po nating yeah, kumbaga sa proseso na ito, no, it causes the older leaves to lose chlorophyll first, leading to a general uniform yellowing or chlorosis. Okay? Nakikita mo parang nag-yellowish po yung dahon ng ating mga older leaves, no, sa ating mga plants. That is what we call or yan po ay cause ng tinatawag natin na nitrogen deficiency. Kaya letter C po yung tumpak na choice for item number 8. We go to item number 9 here. Which condition most likely causes fish stress in culture systems? Is it A, adequate aeration? Letter B, proper feeding schedule? Letter C, overstocking? Or letter D, stable water temperature? What is your choice? Paklapag po sa ating comment section. Again, which condition most likely causes fish stress, no, in culture systems? Okay, so ano pong klaseng factor yan? Is it A, adequate aeration, letter B, proper feeding schedule, letter C, overstocking, or letter D, stable water temperature? Ano po yung tumpak na choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, item number 9. I see letter C here. Tumpak ba yung letter C natin? What about the others? What is your choice for this item? Okay, I see a lot of letter C is tumpak ba yung letter C natin? Again, we are talking about here. Anong klaseng factor, no? Bakit nagkakaroon po ng stress yung ating mga isda? Okay, that is, I see a lot of letter C is, I see letter A as well. Of course, kapag ganito po yung matanungan, yung tumpak na choice natin dito would be letter C, no? That is what we call the overstocking. Okay? Tandaan po natin, no? Pag sinabi po natin overstocking, of course, marami po yung populasyon ng ating mga isda, no? In our certain pond, for example. And of course, that increases competition, reduces oxygen, and of course, that elevates waste levels. Okay? Yan po yung overstocking. Yan po ay isa sa mga factors kung bakit nagkakaroon po ng fish stress na tinatawag. Yung letter A natin dito, adequate aeration. Tandaan po natin, this improves fish health. Kaya X po yung ating letter A. Yung letter B natin dito, proper feeding schedule. Of course, that supports growth, no? Yung letter D naman natin, stable water temperature. Of course, this prevents stress. Kaya X din po yung ating letter D. But then we are talking about here the factor that causes fish stress, yan po yung ating overstocking, no? Nagkakaroon po ng competition, nagre-reduce po yung oxygen ng ating pan kapag marami po yung stocks natin, no? And of course, that is correct. Item number 9, letter C po yung tumpak na choice. We go to item number 10 here. Which practice contributes most to climate resilient agriculture? Is it a monocropping? Letter B, excessive chemical use. Letter C, crop diversification. Or letter D, over irrigation. What is your choice? Paklapag po sa ating comment section. Again, ano pong klaseng practice that contributes most to climate resilient agriculture? Okay? So ano po yan? Is that a monocropping? Letter B, excessive chemical use. Letter C, crop diversification. Or letter D, over irrigation. Ano po yung tumpak na choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, item number 10. What is your choice? Okay, I see letter C here. Tumpak ba yung letter C natin? What about the others? Pakilapag po ng ating mga choice sa ating comment section. Okay, I see letter C, yes. I see letter B as well. Okay, tumpak ba yung mga choice natin? Item number 10. Of course, kapag ganito po yung matanungan, yung tumpak na choice natin dito, of course, would be letter. That is letter C, no? That is what we call the crop diversification. Okay? Tandaan po natin, teachers, pag sinabi po natin crop diversification, ito po yung practice no, of growing multiple crop types on a farm over time or in the same area. And of course, by cultivating a variety of crops, yung farmers natin dito, may ensure po nila no, that if one crop fails due to a specific climate shock, others may still survive and provide a harvest. Okay? May harvestin ka pa rin, no? That is what we call crop diversification. What about our monocropping? Yung dapat lamang po nating tandaan kapag sinabi po nating monocropping, of course, this is a practice, no? Involves growing a single crop repeatedly. Again, single crop repeatedly. That is what we call monocropping. What about our letter B? Excessive chemical use. Ekes po ito, no? Kasi nga po negative. Tandaan po natin, no? Kapag nag-over-rely po tayo sa ating mga synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, nagde-degrade po yan ng kalidad po ng ating lupa and of course, yung biodiversity over time. Kaya ekes po yung ating letter B. Kapag over-irrigation naman po, of course, tandaan po natin that while water is necessary, excessive irrigation can lead to waterlogging, soil salinization, and of course, nutrient leaching. Kaya ekes din po yung ating letter D. But then we are talking about the practice no, that contributes most to climate resilient agriculture. That is what we call the crop diversification. Kaya letter C po yung tumpak na choice for item number 10. We go to item number 11. Which fishing regulation helps prevent overfishing? Is it A, increasing mesh size? Letter B, using smaller boats? Letter C, fishing at night? Or letter D, increasing fishing days? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here the fishing regulation that helps prevent overfishing. Okay? Para maiwasan po natin yung pagkaubos mismo ng ating mga isda. So, ano po yung gagawin natin? Is that A, increasing mesh size? Letter B, using small boats? Letter C, fishing at night? Or letter D, increasing fishing days? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. I see letter A here. Tumpak po ba yung letter A natin? What about the others? Pakilapag po ng ating mga choice sa comment section. Okay? I see a lot of letter A. Tumpak po ba yung letter A natin? Of course, that is I see letter A's, I see letter C. Okay, ano po yung tumpak na choice kapag ganito po yung matanungan? Of course, yung tumpak na choice natin would be letter A, no? That is increasing mesh size. So, ibig sabihin lamang po nito, it means dapat malalaki po yung butas ng ating mga nets, no? Para yung mga juvenile fish po natin ay hindi po sila mahuli, okay? Para yung malalaking isda lamang po yung ating mahuhuli, okay? And of course, yung letter B natin dito, using smaller boats, na lamang po natin, it does not directly regulate the amount of fish taken. Kaya ekes po yung ating letter B. Kapag fishing at night, tandaan po natin, no, often makes fishing more efficient, potentially increasing overfishing. Kaya ekes po yung ating letter C. Kapag increasing fishing days, tandaan po natin, no, it directly increases fishing effort, leading to more overfishing. Kaya ekes din po yung ating letter D. But then we are talking about here, no, yung klase po ng fishing regulation practice, no, that prevents overfishing. That is what we call letter A, no. Dapat palakihin po yung mga mesh sizes po ng ating mga nets, okay? Kaya letter A po yung tumpak na choice for item number 11. We go to item number 12. Which machine is used for primary tillage in farm operations? Is it a harrow, letter B, leveler, letter C, moldboard plow, or letter D, none of this? What is your choice? Paklapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here a type of machine no, that is used for primary tillage in farm operations. Okay? Ito din po yung tinatawag natin na mga farm implements. No? So ano pong klaseng implement yung gagamitin natin for primary tillage? Okay? Tandaan po, primary tillage. Ano po yan? Is that a harrow, letter B, leveler, letter C, moldboard plow, or letter D, none of this? Okay, item number 12, I see letter A here. Tumpak ba yung letter A natin? Of course, yan po ay, tumpak ba yung letter A natin? Hala kayo. Of course, the best option here would be letter C, no? That is what we call the moldboard plow. Tandaan po natin, teachers, ito ha. Medyo confusing po ito, no? Pag sinabi po natin moldboard plow, tandaan po natin, no? Ito po yung standard machine, no? Or implement na ginagamit po natin for primary tillage. And of course, yung primary function po niyan is to cut, lift, and completely invert the soil burying surface vegetation and crop residue to promote decomposition and aerate the soil. Okay, yan po yung ating moldboard plow na tinatawag. Yung ating harrow dito, yung dapat po nating tandaan, ito po ay secondary. Again, tandaan, kapag harrow, ito po ay secondary tillage implement na ginagamit po natin no, after plowing to break down soil clods. Okay, yan po yung ating harrow na tinatawag. Kapag leveler kasi, yung dapat lamang po nating tandaan dito, no, ito naman po yung ginagamit natin no, for post-tillage operation to smooth and flatten the field surface for uniform water distribution and planting. Kaya X din po yung ating letter B. Again, tandaan po teachers ha, kapag primary tillage, dapat plow po yung ating gagamitin. Kapag secondary tillage, yung gagamitin po natin would be the harrow. Okay? Kasi nga po, pinupulverize na po yung ating lupa. Okay? Sana nakuha po. Item number 12, letter C po yung tumpak na choice. We go to item number 13. Which aquaculture species is best suited for brackish water culture? Is it A, tilapia, letter B, bangus, letter C, catfish, or letter D, carp? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here, no? Yung ating aquaculture species that is best suited for brackish water, okay? So ano pong klaseng isda yung dapat po natin na palakihin, no, sa ating mga brackish water? Ano po yan? Is it a tilapia? Letter B, bangus. Letter C, catfish. Or letter D, carp. What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Item number 13 ay si letter B. Tumpak ba yung letter B natin? What about the others? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. O, try po natin sagutan ito no, within 15 seconds. Okay, item number 13, what is your choice? I see a lot of letter B's here. Tumpak ko ba yung letter B natin? Again, we are talking about yung ating aquaculture species, no? O yung ating isda mismo na dapat po natin palakihin, no? Sa ating mga brackish water, okay? Or sa ating mga estuaries. Again, pag sinabi po nating estuaries, ito po yung lugar, no? Na pwedeng-pwede po natin palakihan ng ating mga isda, no? Na pwedeng-pwede po nating palakihan po ng ating mga isda because this is the area kung saan po nagmi-meet yung ating mga yung ating salt water at saka yung ating fresh water na tinatawag. Okay? Yan po yung ating estuaries na tinatawag. And of course, kapag brackish water, yung tumpak na choice natin dito would be letter B, no? That is what we call the bangus, di ba? It thrives in brackish water and widely cultured in coastal ponds. Okay? That is what we call the bangus o yung ating milkfish mismo. Okay? Tandaan po natin yan. And of course, yung ating tilapia dito, ito po ay primarily kinoculture po natin sila sa ating mga freshwater. Kapag catfish naman, of course, freshwater, at saka yung ating carp mismo. Okay? Sana nakuha po? Item number 13, letter B po yung tumpak na choice. Bangus po yan, no? Kapag brackish po, ano po yung brackish water? Of course, ito po ay combination po ng ating salt water at saka yung ating fresh water. Okay? Item number 14. Which feed component is most important for energy in livestock rations? Is it A, protein, letter B, vitamins, letter C, carbohydrates, or letter D, minerals? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Yes po, no? Kapag brackish water, pinaghalong tubig alat at tubig tabang. Okay, very good po. Yan po yung ating brackish water. Okay, item number 14, what is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, most important for energy. No? Tandaan po, you just need one keyword po dito para matukoy po natin yung ating sagot. Okay? Most important for energy in livestock rations. Okay? Mga pinapakain po natin sa ating mga alagang hayop. So ano po yan? Is it a protein? Letter B, vitamins. Letter C, carbohydrates. Or letter D, minerals. I see letter C. Tumpak mo yung letter C natin again kapag source of energy. Ano po yan? Again, letter C po ba yung tumpak na choice? I see letter B as well. Of course, kapag source ng energy, yung tumpak na choice natin dito would be letter C, no? That is what we call the carbohydrates. Tandaan po natin, teachers, again, pag sinabi po natin carbohydrates, ito po nagsusupply no ng or the supply the primary energy needed for maintenance and growth. Kapag protein kasi, yung dapat lamang po nating tandaan dito no, yung primary role po ng ating protein is the building and repair of body tissues, muscles and organs. Kaya X po yung ating letter A. Kapag vitamins naman po, ito naman po yung ating mga organic compounds no required in very small amounts to regulate biological processes and immune functions. Kaya X din po yung ating letter B. Kapag minerals naman, of course, ito po yung ating mga inorganic elements essential for bone formation, nerve function, and of course, metabolic regulation. Okay, yan po yung ating minerals. But then we are talking about here, no, the source of energy. Yan po yung ating carbohydrates. Kaya letter C po yung tumpak na choice for item number 14. We go to item number 15. Which tool is used to measure wind speed in agricultural areas? Is it a barometer, letter B, hygrometer, letter C, anemometer, or letter D, thermometer? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section, okay? And of course, pakitandaan po ito kasi nga po, no, lumabas po ito sa mga previous examinations, okay? Item number 15. Again, which tool is used to measure wind speed? Okay? So ano pong klaseng device or tool yung gagamitin po natin no, in order for us to measure the wind speed? Is it a barometer? Letter B, hygrometer. Letter C, anemometer. Or letter D, thermometer. What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Item number 15. Okay, I see letter A here. Tumpak ba yung letter A natin? What about the others? What is your choice? Please put your answers sa ating comment section. Okay, I see letter B yes. I see letter A here. I see letter C yes. Okay, of course, kapag ganito po yung matanungan, yung tumpak na choice natin dito would be letter C, no? That is what we call the anemometer. Tandaan po natin, teachers, again, pag sinabi po natin anemometer, ito po yung klase ng device na ginagamit po natin no, to measure wind speed. And of course, this is important for spraying and weather monitoring. Kaya tumpak po yung ating letter C. Kapag barometer, yung dapat lamang po nating tandaan dito, it measures air pressure. Kaya X po yung ating letter A. Kapag hygrometer, yung dapat lamang po nating tandaan, ito naman po yung ginagamit natin no, to measure air humidity. Kaya X din po yung ating letter B. Kapag thermometer, yung dapat lamang po nating tandaan dito, it measures temperature. Kaya X din po yung ating letter D. But then we are talking about here, no, yung klase po ng device or tool that we are using to measure wind speed in our agricultural areas. That is what we call the anemometer. Kaya letter C po yung tumpak na choice for item number 15. We go to item number 16. Which soil particle has the greatest water holding capacity? Is it A, sand, letter B, silt, letter C, gravel, or letter D, clay? What is your choice? Paklapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here, no, yung klase po ng soil natin that has the greatest water holding capacity. Okay? Ano po yan? Is it a sand, letter B, silt, letter C, gravel, or letter D, clay? What is your choice? Paklapag po sa ating comment section. Item number 16. I see letter D here. Tumpak ko ba yung letter D natin? What about the others? Paklapag po. Again, we are talking about soil particle, no, has the greatest water holding capacity. So it means kayang-kaya po niyang i-retain yung moisture, no? Kayang-kaya po niyang i-retain yung tubig mismo. So ano pong klaseng soil yung pipiliin natin? I see a lot of letter Ds and of course tumpak po yung ating clay, no? Kasi nga po, pag sinabi po nating clay or yung ating clay particles are very small, 'di ba? And have high surface area, allowing them to retain large amounts of water. Okay, yan po yung ating clay. Kapag sand naman, of course, it has large particles and it drains water quickly. Okay, yan po yung ating sand. Kaya X po yan. Yung ating silt, of course, moderate water retention po yan. Kaya somehow X po yung ating letter B. Kapag gravel naman, of course, hindi naman po ito makukonsider as klase po ng soil, no? And of course, it does not retain water. Kaya X po yung ating letter C. We go to item number 17. Which irrigation method is most suitable for sandy soils? Is it a flood irrigation? Let it be drip irrigation. Let it be furrow irrigation or let it be basin irrigation. What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here, no, yung klase po ng ating irrigation method that is most suitable for sandy soils. Okay? Tandaan po natin ha, na kapag sandy soil kasi, mabilis po mag-drain yung ating tubig. So ano pong klaseng irrigation, yung akma po para sa ating mga sandy soils? Is that a flood, let it be drip irrigation, let it be furrow irrigation, or let it be basin irrigation? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, I see letter B is, I see letter C here. Tumpak po yung mga choice natin kapag sandy soil. Ano pong klaseng irrigation yung dapat nating gagamitin or yung akma dito? I see letter B is, I see letter D is. And of course, yung tumpak na choice natin dito would be letter B, no? That is what we call the drip irrigation. Tandaan po natin, pag sinabi po nating drip irrigation, it provides water directly to the plant roots in small controlled amounts, which is ideal po para sa ating mga sandy soils that cannot retain water for long periods. Okay, yan po yung ating drip irrigation. And of course, yung kadalasan tinatanong po sa board examination kung ano pong klaseng irrigation yung akmang-akma po sa ating mga field, no? Most especially kapag limitado lamang po yung ating source ng tubig, then you have to choose the drip irrigation. And of course, yung flood irrigation po natin, hindi po ito pwede, no, sa ating sandy soil. Kasi nga po, mabilis pong mag-drain yung ating mga sandy soils kaya hindi po akma yung ating flood irrigation. Yung ating furrow irrigation at saka yung ating basin irrigation, hindi din po sila akma para sa ating sandy soil. Okay, sana nakuha po? Item number 17, letter B po yung tumpak na choice. We go to item number 18. It is the common cause of seedling mortality in nursery beds. Is that A, excessive sunlight? Letter B, dumping of disease. Letter C, nutrient toxicity. Or letter D, wind damage. What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here the common cause of seedling mortality, no, in our nursery beds. Ano po yan? Is it A, excessive sunlight? Letter B, dumping of disease. Letter C, nutrient toxicity. Or letter D, wind damage. What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, what is your choice? Item number 18. Please put your answer sa ating comment section. Again, the common cause of seedling mortality, okay? Pag sinabi po natin mortality, ito po yung death percentage, no? It's either po ng ating mga alagang hayop, for example, no? Or even our plants, okay? So ano po yan? Ano pong factor, no? Or the common cause of seedling mortality? Is it A, excessive sunlight? Let it be dumping of disease. Let it see nutrient toxicity. Or let it be wind damage. I see letter B is, tumpak ba yung letter B natin? Of course, that is correct, no? Yan po yung ating dumping of disease. Tandaan po natin, no? Pag sinabi po nating dumping of disease, tandaan po natin ito, teachers, ha? Pag sinabi po nating dumping of disease, ito po yung fungal disease, no? That attacks young seedlings, causing stem rot and collapse at or below the soil line. Okay, yan po yung ating dumping of disease na tinatawag. Okay, pasensya po, medyo nabubulol po ako. Okay, yung letter A natin dito, kapag excessive sunlight, of course, that causes wilting but not stem collapse. Kaya X po yung ating letter A. Kapag nutrient toxicity, tandaan po natin, this is rare no in early seedling stages. Kaya X po yung ating letter C. Kapag wind damage naman, of course, that affects exposed seedlings, hindi naman po ito no nangyayari po sa ating nursery beds. Kaya X po yung ating letter D. But then we are talking about here the common cause. Bakit kadalasan mo marami pong namamatay yung ating namamatayan po sa ating mga seedlings? That is what we call letter B, no? Yan po yung ating dumping of disease. Okay? Yung fungal disease mismo na umatake po sa ating mga seedlings. Okay? Sana nakuha po? Item number 18, letter B po yung tumpak na choice. We go to item number 19. O ito. Which livestock species has the shortest gestation period? Is it A, cow, letter B, goat, letter C, pig, or letter D, carabao? What is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Again, we are talking about here yung klase po ng ating livestock species, no? Or species that has the shortest gestation period. Kapag tinanong po kung ano po yung gestation, ito po yung pagbubuntis ng ating mga alagang hayop. Okay? So, base po sa ating options, ano pong klaseng hayop dito, no, na may makukonsider po natin that has a shortest gestation period? Ano po yan? Is that a cow, letter B, goat, letter C, pig, or letter D, carabao? Ano po yung tumpak na choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, item number 19, what is your choice? Pakilapag po sa ating comment section. Okay, 19. I see letter B here. Goat. Tumpak ba yung goat natin? I see letter C as well. Pig. Tumpak ba yung letter C natin? What about the others? What is your choice? Item number 19. I see letter B as I see letter C. And of course, yung may pinaka-maikling gestation period, yung tumpak na choice natin dito would be letter C, no? Yan po yung ating pig or swine mismo. Okay? Tandaan lamang po natin, no? Kapag pig kasi, of course, that ranges, no? 414 days lamang po yan. Again, kapag pig or swine, that is 114 days or approximately 3.8 months. Kapag goat kasi, that is 150 days, no? Kaya medyo matagal po yung ating goat, that is approximately 5 months. Kapag cow naman, that is 283 days, approximately 9 months. Kapag carabao naman, of course, ito matagal po ito, no? That is 320 to 330 days, approximately 10.5 to 11 months. And of course, we are talking about here, no? Yung ating livestock species that has the shortest gestation period. Yan po yung ating pig mismo. Kaya larsi po yung tumpak na choice for item number 19. We go to okay, lumabas po yung sagot. Okay, pasensya po, no? Item number 20, bonus po ito. A farmer planted 500 seeds and only 425 seedlings survived. What is the seed mortality percentage? Is it A, 10%, letter B, 12%, letter C, 15%, or letter D, 25%? And of course, yung tumpak na choice natin dito would be letter C, no? That is 15%. Paano po natin yan na-solve? Easy lamang po. Follow lamang po natin yung ating step by step dito, no? Yung first step po natin dito, we have to determine the number of seeds that did not survive or yung ating tinatawag na mortality count, no, by subtracting the number of survived seedlings from the total number of seeds planted. Okay? Para makuha po natin yung ating mortality count dito, minus lang po natin yung ating 500, no? Minusan po ng ating 425 na mga seedlings na nakasurvive. And of course, para mabilang po natin kung ilan po yung namatay na seedlings, that would be 75 minus lang po natin yan. And of course, yung second step natin dito, para makuha po natin yung ating percentage, no, we just have to divide the number of failed seeds by the total number of seeds planted and multiply by 100. Okay, so that would be 75 divided by 500, multiply po natin sa ating 100. No? Divide po muna natin 75 divided by 500, that gives us 0.15, multiply po natin sa 100 para makuha po natin yung ating mortality percentage. Okay, sana nakuha po. Item number 20, letter C po yung tumpak na choice. Okay, paki-screenshot na lamang po ito. Okay, and of course, Ilan po yung nakuha natin? Sige nga po, pakilapag ng ating score out of 20. Ilan po yung nakuha natin? Paki-flex po ng ating mga scores sa ating comment section. Sige po, paki-flex ng ating scores. So let's hope, no? Let's wish na sana yung magiging susunod na top notcher ay manggagaling po sa atin mismo, no? Sige po, paki-flex ng ating score out of 20. Ilan po yung nakuha natin? Paki-flex sa ating comment section. Okay, we have here 15 out of 20. Okay, 14 out of 20, 13 out of 20, 14 out of 20. Okay, 15 lang po ako, sir, kasi huli po ako. Okay, wala pong problema niya, no? And of course, kapag nagpa-member po kayo dito, pwedeng-pwede po ninyo maging mapanood ulit, no? Kasi nga po, replayable po ito. This one is being recorded and this will be uploaded po sa ating mga private group. Okay, 14 out of 20. Okay, pwede na po yan. Okay, and of course, that ends our discussion tonight. Thank you so much po, no, for participating. And of course, may God bless us all. Dapat puspusan na po yung ating preparation at saka yung ating paghahanda para sa ating papalapit na licensure examination for professional teachers. Okay? Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat ulit. And of course, enjoy the rest of the night. Goodbye po, teachers.